All right, we're going to get started now since it's 5 plus the hour. And thanks everybody for joining us again. My name is Malcolm Domek. I am with proMX. We are a Microsoft partner who specializes in business applications and the Power Platform. And we have the pleasure today to welcome you to our webinar in which we're going to be explaining the different Microsoft project management solutions that are out there in the market. With us, we have Harshita from Microsoft, who will be introducing herself and will be helping us throughout the webinar. Thank you, Harshita.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. I'm Harshita Varanasi. I'm a technical specialist with Microsoft, and I primarily focus on Dynamics project operations and have been with Microsoft for over 2 years. And prior to that, worked with customers on multiple ERP implementation projects. And I'm super excited to be a part of this webinar today. Right. And so jumping right in, right? So I think everyone here can agree that choosing a right project management tool can be time consuming and a confusing process. So today's session is exactly aiming to solve that particular problem, right? So by attending this webinar, you will gain a comprehensive understanding of various Microsoft solutions from the project management space like Microsoft Project, Planner, Dynamics Project Operations, right? So you will see clear examples of how each solution and its functionalities can meet your specific business needs. And additionally, you'll also receive a well-defined path forward, which can help your organization to identify that right solution for your needs and for your requirements, right? And proMX here is our go-to partner in this space to collaborate. And they have successfully implemented multiple, I think, project operations and Microsoft projects to several customers, right? So I'm confident that this 4-step process will be an easy, helpful approach to identify that right project management solution for your organization. So hope this session is super useful for you today. Yeah, looking forward for it. And now I'll pass it back to the proMX team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harshita. And with us also we have Vince Lopicola. And I will let you introduce yourself, Vince, for the audience.
Thanks, Malcolm. I appreciate that. So hi, everyone. Vince Lopicola here with proMX. I'm a business development manager, and I come to proMX after a lifetime of work at Microsoft, where I held a couple of posts, but primarily a technology specialist. So I will be in the background answering any questions that come in along with Harshita, and I hope you enjoy today's conference.
Thank you, Vince. And as Vince said, we want to keep this presentation or webinar interactive, so we welcome you to ask any questions that you might have on the chat. Harshita and Vince will be monitoring the chat. We will also leave plenty of time at the end for a Q&A session, so we keep it interactive. And also to go back to how Harshita explained, the idea is to not only have a webinar, but to give you a path forward for you to continue evaluating which one will be the right solution for your particular need. So in this case, we at proMX created this 4-step program, which is an easy program that starts with this webinar that we're having today. But if you do have an interest in learning more and share with us your particular use cases and your challenges, we will welcome you to sign up for discovery sessions. This will be a personal engagement, a one-on-one between our proMX team and you and anybody at your company who would like to participate, in which will we be discussing your particular needs, your challenges, what you're using right now, where you want to evolve, okay? The idea is after these one-on-one sessions, we're going to be preparing a tailored demo to show you an efficient solution that you can consider for those particular needs. That tailored demo is one step away from being a one particular solution that you can use. So that becomes a proof of concept. That proof of concept, also called MVP, minimum valuable product, will be ready for you to start using right away after we go through the process of developing the tailored demo and the POC. With that, first, we need to, of course, give a little bit of an introduction of who we are and what we do. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we are a Microsoft partner. We only focus on Microsoft technologies. We've been doing this for more than 20 years. We have over 250 employees worldwide. Okay, and we are a system integrator, meaning we implement all sorts of Microsoft solutions. We also are an independent software provider. That means that we have our own systems that run on top of the Microsoft platform and enhances the different business applications provided by Microsoft, such as project operations. We keep close relationship with all the Microsoft teams. Okay, we also have a few recognitions from Microsoft, such as Microsoft solution partner. We are industry focused. So pretty much what we want to tell you is that we have been working together with Microsoft for a while, and we have plenty of experience implementing all these solutions. Now, to our particular subject of the day. We do want to show you, I want to make sure that my slides are moving forward. We do want to show you the different solutions that Microsoft has available for project management. And we want to get into the details on what each of these solutions can do for you. So the first thing that we want to look at is what is the intended audience for this particular solution, okay? And what is the business value that the solutions provide for the intended audience. We're going to be talking about 4 different solutions that you probably are familiar with, some of them more than others, but I'm sure that at some point you all seen at least Project Desktop, which is one of the oldest solutions that Microsoft has. So we're going to start talking about Project Desktop. Project Desktop is a full project management solution that is intended at first for individual people who's working on a project. Okay? It is a desktop solution, meaning that it runs on your desktop and you're going to be able to work on it. You can share this solution with some other people, but the intent is for you to be able to manage it yourself. One of the newest offerings from Microsoft is Microsoft Planner. You might have seen it coming out in your Teams. It is super integrated with Teams. And the audience for the planner is for teams, not only for the team application, but for teams that are collaborating. Okay? And it focuses on the task management tool. So really focus on the task management more than anything else. The business value is that it enables teams and organize tasks and collaboration easily through the beautiful team application that we all use on our daily basis and we're using right now for this presentation. Moving on, we're going now to talk about Project Online. Project Online is a step ahead of Planner. It also helps you with Teams organization, but it's now a cloud-based solution that will give you more in-depth information about the project themselves. Okay. The business value is that it allows organizations to manage multiple projects and also resource, and that's because it is a cloud solution from anywhere that you are. Now, the most complex and advanced solution from Microsoft is project operation. And this particular solution is also focused on team collaboration, on internal and external projects, and is an end-to-end solution. We're going to be talking in details about the project operations, but the end-to-end means to integrate the sales side of the house as well, okay, as well as all the financials and after the project is delivered activities. With that in mind, we're going to get into a little bit of understanding in depth of each one of the solutions. So let's first talk about Microsoft Project Desktop. As we were explaining before, the intended audience is single contributors, but also teams that are working independently in each one of the projects. Okay? It is a robust tool. It does have all the functionality that a project manager needs, from managing the tasks to the dependencies to everything that is contemplated on a project. Okay? We go back to the business value, provides detailed project planning and scheduling capabilities. You can assign the resources to tasks, etc. Okay, we're going to get into more deep dive into each one of the functionalities. So for now, I'm just doing an overview of each one of the solutions that Microsoft have available. Okay. Moving on to Planner, the newest offering from Microsoft. As you can see on the screenshot that we have in this particular slide, This is a more modern solution. It is focused on the usability. It is focused on how you manage tasks, how you collaborate with different teams, and how you can go about contributing to each one of the tasks through different entry points such as teams. Okay. Enables advanced projects and portfolio management as well. Okay. And includes prioritization of activities in other advanced settings. We're now going to be talking a little bit about Project Online. As you can see, the visualization is a bit different than Planner. Planner is a different focus on how we get into the projects. This particular Project Online does focus on project managers as well, who need to look at the Gantt chart, who need to look at all the activities for a particular project, dependencies, and contribute in a different way to this particular management activity. We're now going to jump into project operations. And as I mentioned before, this is the most advanced solution from Microsoft. Project operations does focus on all the items that we mentioned before, the collaboration, the task management, the project management, but it does also come from a more of an enterprise view in which the resource allocation is very important to manage large teams, to manage those large collaborations, and to look into the schedules, and then also to match the skills for the particular required task. Okay, it facilitates the end-to-end process coming from the planning, the sales process, to the execution, to the post-sales. Now, we want to identify how these different project solutions, these different applications that Microsoft has, can evolve with you or grow with you and your needs. For that, we want to show you how, as you grow on your project complexity and requirements and how your company might be evolving and growing in your offerings of projects, the different solutions can grow with you. So in this particular case, let's see if my animations work as intended. There we go. When we're talking about a single contributor or a company that only now gets into the business of managing projects, whether it's internal projects or something that an individual contributor can manage for an external customer, they usually start with the first offering of Microsoft, which is Project Desktop. Project Desktop, as we said, is very robust. It does have all the capabilities for you to manage projects. But it falls short sometimes on the team collaborations, as teams cannot manage the same project from different entry points. Now, as your organization grows and you start having different team members participating on these projects, usually people evolve into Planner, the latest Microsoft solution. Planner, it is focused on team collaboration. Usually focus on smaller projects in which team needs to collaborate and needs to update the different tasks, and without many of the complexities of resource allocations or finance. But as your company continues or you're growing or your projects continues evolving in complexity, you might feel that you need more collaborative tools and more robustness on the project management side in the contributions. That is when Project Online could be a good solution for you. Okay. Now we're not only talking about internal projects, we are also talking about projects that are delivered to customers, in which we need to manage this project in a different way. We need to start generating reports. We need to let customers know of the activities and progress of each one of these projects. So Project Online is a very good tool for internal and external process in which you start having collaborations with your customers. Again, we started from a single contributor, usually a project manager who is using project desktops. Then we move on to a more team collaboration tool with Planner. And now for Project Online, we're talking about not only team collaboration, but also more reporting towards customers and customer-facing projects. Now, with customer-facing projects, it comes the need to really get into the finance. Are we being productive? Is this project producing the correct return on investment? Are we invoicing? So for that, we evolve into the needs of project operations. Project Operations is the most robust offering of Microsoft for managing projects, and it does include all the project financials as well as everything else that we have been mentioned. So we wanted to demonstrate how as you grow on the complexity of your products, and as you grow as a company providing solutions based on projects, you have a path forward that you can grow with Microsoft solutions. So now we're going to deep dive into the value proposition, and we're really going to focus on project operations. And the reason why we're going to focus on project operations is because we want to show you the full extent of all the capabilities that Microsoft has when looking at the solution. So now we're going to be talking more about solutions that are specific tools. Okay, so let's say that our project operation management, okay, the management of all our projects, we need to have a clear project ROI. What is the return on investment? How productive is our project? Okay, as we go across our organizations, we really need to have also a clear view of our resources, and we really need to have a good management and planning of those resources, right? So these are the business values that we want to get from our solution, okay? As we're working on these projects, we need to track both internal and external projects with time entries, cost entries, updates on the task, whether they have been completed or not, and of course, their dependencies and everything else. All of that information and the access to all of that information in one unique place, okay, common for everyone, does bring transparency to the organization, which is also a clear business value as you're implementing a project solution, project management solution. So let's talk a little bit more about that end-to-end process that we were talking about and how project operations covers the end-to-end project. Okay? In a complex organization that provides services around projects, we have the before the project activity, and that goes for the project planning or the sales project itself. Even if it is an internal project, projects are usually competing internally for other projects on the company. So we are proposing projects, we need to analyze those projects until they are approved and they move on to execution. So it works very well for internal as well as external projects. For external project is the sales process in which we're going to be quoted for a customer. We're going to have that negotiation back and forward, modifying our quote, modifying our proposal, and modifying the project that we are estimating for. It's very important. As we're planning for this project, these projects create an internal demand of resources. So all of that is being covered by project operations, and we're going to talk more in details on those functionalities. Then we move to the execution of the project, what we call the during the project. Okay? And of course, you're going to have a specific activities such as project controlling, okay? Time and expenses tracking. Who are the resources that are working? How much time are dedicated? What are the expenses? Okay? Not only the time and expenses, but also materials and products tracking is possible with project operations. Definitely, we need to have all the functionalities as a well-matured project management solution. And with that, it also comes the resource management capability. Now, during and after the project, what we really want to have is access to reporting. What is the status? What is the efficiency of our team? And then if we're talking to a customer and it's a project that is customer facing, we need to get into the billing. We want to make sure that we are paid for the efforts that we are executing for our customers. Now let's jump more into the details of what is involved in each one of these stages. Okay, so when we're talking about the project planning and management, we can clearly identify different areas. First one, we're going to talk about the project management. We need to refine the project plans. Okay, we need to request the resources. We need to make sure that we can deliver that project that we are planning for. When can we start the project? Our resources going to be available? Are our internal resources enough? Do we need to hire new resources? Do we need to go out for vendor recruitment? Or do we need to work with existing partners that can help us deliver this project? Okay. Since we're putting ourselves into the shoes of a complex organization, we do have many projects that we need to manage. and project managers are usually related to not one but many projects. That is when the project portfolio management functionality comes into place. How can we manage our portfolios efficiently and keep all these requirements and dependencies connected? Okay. As we work in a big organization, we will find many different types of projects. Those projects have different requirements, different templates, different executions. So we want to be able to configure all these projects, all these different requirements by different business units, by different teams, by different departments. Okay? We want to make sure that we are on top of those projects as well, creating and configuring notifications that can keep us updated without us having to go back to those projects. Okay? All these tracking activities are easy configurable using the Microsoft platform and using project operations. The other tools, Planner, Project Online, and Project Desktops, do have certain capabilities, but not to the extent that project operations have. Now, as we follow through this project planning and management, we definitely want to have a more robust capability to manage changes on this project. Okay? And these changes not only need to be reported, but they need to have baseline. We need to track the difference between what we started planning for and how now we are executing on these projects. So all that baseline functionality will be available. And we can create different baselines for not only the resource that we're using, the budget that we allocated, but also the financials that come attached to that. There is no project that gets executed without people working on the project. That's a known fact. So we're going to be talking a little bit about resource management. What are the functionalities that we get with Microsoft Project Operations around resource management? Okay? And how we can now match resources to the required skills and tasks that come from the project, which is a demand for our resources. So Project Operations does offer all that functionality, matching resources based on your project task, the skills needed for the projects, and even the schedule needed for those particular deliverables. Then we want to control the project. Of course, we want to be on top of the project. We want to make sure that we are delivering on time or hopefully ahead of time. Okay? We are tracking those financials that we are delivering between the budget that we estimated. And again, this works for internal as well as external projects. So we want to make sure that we step on top of our project. Microsoft comes with the integrations to make sure that we can leverage all the power of Power BI. So we can easily report and we can slide the data the way we need it. Okay? And that goes into all the type of data, time entries, billables, and even accounts receivables as we can integrate with the ERP's functionalities. Now, as you can see, we went kind of, on a high level first talking about all the functionalities and went deep dive into the different stages of the project. And now we're diving into the functionality that project operations provides to us. So I don't expect you to memorize these slides, of course, but we wanted to give you an idea of everything that covers project operations. So we can talk a little bit here and there about the different functionalities, which I have been already mentioning to you. But when you start with the project itself, you might have different contracts that you want to take advantage of and then you can quote on with that particular customer. You want to make sure that you can fully cover the lead to quote process. You're having a lead, you start talking to your customers, you're having a plan to start estimating a project that you can deliver to them so you can start creating quotes. That quote in itself is a project that you're planning. Okay? And as you're going back and forward on that quote revision, then you will have variations of those quotes that could be variations on different projects that you propose. Okay? As you are hopefully being successful either in promoting your internal projects or selling your projects to your customers, you can get into more details of the project planning. Okay? And you're going to have all the functionalities such as the WBS, the interactive Gantt charts, the co-authoring, the dependencies and constraints of each one of those tasks, the teams integration and the teams that are participating in this particular project. You have all the security around those teams and users who can access the project data. Okay, and as we were talking, through the Microsoft platform, we can have integration with all your systems. You can have integration with your inventory. Okay, you can have integration also with SharePoint, in which you're going to be managing the documents for this particular project. Okay, and you're going to be evolving on your financials, on your resource management. As we can see over here, all of this is covered by project operation. Finally, we said that we want to be invoicing these projects. Okay, if it is an external project, this will go directly to the customers as the form of invoice of draft performance, and through the integrations with project operations and Microsoft F&O, for instance, you can start working with your ERP system, and you can start working with your accounting, your financing, and your accounts receivables as well. And through the accounts receivables or through Power BI, you're going to be able to project on your financials. You're going to be able to act on the revenue recognition, on the committing cost, and everything that has to do with your relationship with the finance department and your customers and your accounts receivables as well. Now let's compare, since we were talking about all the different solutions, and now we did a deep dive into each one of the particular functional solutions and functionalities of these solutions. Let's take a quick look at the chart of which one of the particular functionalities and features are offered by which one of the solutions. So we have on the left our column with our features, and then we give a comparison of each one of the solutions: Project Desktop, Planner, Project Online, and also Project Operations. And you can see Project Operations does cover all the functionalities. You will see that we added also our own solutions, which are flagged as proMX VPN, to the last column to cover the functionality that we extended for Project Operations. I'm not going to deep dive into each one of these requirements as we talk about them throughout the presentation, but I do want to make sure that you see the capabilities of Dataverse and the security that comes with the whole Microsoft platform. You know, it is good to recognize that security applies to each one of the solutions. So your data will always be secure. Okay, and the segregation of user access is covered throughout all of the Microsoft solutions. Now let's talk about Dataverse and why Dataverse is so important. Dataverse allows us to use the whole Microsoft Power Platform, and that will lead us into an easy integration. Integration being said, let's move on to the next slide, in which I want to show you the capabilities of the integration of the Microsoft platform, and very, very important, how you can also work on a hybrid scenario. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you might be evolving from Project Desktop into Planner, and then as your company grows, as your needs grow, you might have different teams that keep on using different solutions. That doesn't mean that they're going to be isolated. That doesn't mean that they're going to be just working on their own projects and they're not going to be integrated into your organization. By contrast, the Microsoft platform, through the use of Dataverse, will allow you to integrate all the data, and not only with the project management tools, but also to the whole Microsoft offering of products and applications. So through Dataverse, we can integrate with, and without Dataverse as well, through SharePoint, Outlook, Teams. And now we're talking about the specific by Microsoft projects. We also recognize that some people are using Excel to manage projects. Okay, it is a very useful tool that will allow you to manage tasks. So Project Operations does integrate with Excel as well. And you can still manage many of the activities and tasks through the integration with Excel of Project Operations. Now, not only we integrate with these more common solutions in applications, but the Microsoft platform will allow you to, as I said before, grow from Project Online or Project Desktop or Planner into Project Operations, and through Project Operations as well, integrate with every other available solution. Why is this important? We mentioned Power BI. We mentioned how Power BI will extend the capabilities of reporting and the analysis of data and your performance on your project. This is very, very important. But for instance, through the Power Virtual Agents, or what is now known as Copilot or AI, you can extend the functionality of project operations and have Copilot learning about your own project and help you create new projects based on your experiences with previously delivered projects. We at proMX also developed some copilots that will allow you and help you allocating resources for your projects. So that's how, through Copilot, you are taking advantage of artificial intelligence and they are learning on your own particular experiences, delivering your own projects and your resources. Okay. Through Power Pages, you can integrate project operations with your customers and your customer portal. And as you need to keep that collaboration going either with customers or third-party contributors to your projects, you can extend the functionality through Power Pages. The same with Power Automate and the same with the Power Apps. So this particular integration allows you to really take the most out of the whole Microsoft platform. This is something that we really want to stress because as we're going to show you on a few cases that we wanted to share with you, this is what we have implemented with some of our customers and we're helping them still grow as their needs in the corporation grow and they are incorporate the whole Microsoft platform. So let's talk about those examples. We are talking about 3 different customers here, and I know we have some of those with our audience today. The first one that we want to talk is Siemens Mobility. Siemens Mobility is a worldwide organization. They are using project operations globally. Okay, they have about 13,000 users. And as you can see on the technologies, they use the whole platform of Microsoft. Okay. So they do use Microsoft Project Operations, but they combine the Project Operations capability and extend the capabilities using different technologies, such as Azure technologies, Power Automate, Power Platform, and SharePoint. We also have some customers that come from previous versions of what it was called PSA, Project Service Automation, and they needed to grow into Project Operations. So we help them growing into the new platform. And as they grow, they also saw the need on the Power applications using the Power Platform. Okay. With Centerpoint, we entered into a different collaboration, which is they have different business departments that were using isolated solutions, and they wanted a more collaborative tool that can be accessed by everyone and can be used across different organizations, inside an organization. So we use a combination of project operations. We also use D365 Finance and Supply Chain, so they can communicate back and forward with the ERP systems and manage all the supply chain aspects of the requirements that come from the project operation. The same with Power Pages and the Power Platform. So it is very important to recognize that we are talking about solutions now, no particularities of each one of the applications. So it is better for you to think about what is the solution that will better help us achieve our goals and solve our needs. And that's why we want to extend the program to the one-on-one sessions, because we really want to help you recognize and evaluate Microsoft as a solution and not a particular application. So in our program, we talk about 4 easy steps. Okay. So today, we did a little bit of a understanding on a high level first of each one of the solutions, and then we started deep diving into what is covered by each one of the applications and how these applications can form part of an integrated solution. And that integrated solution might have different components that you want to utilize, such as the version that we're talking about of the project management solution, would be Planner, Project Online, but also the extendability through the Power Platform, through Power BI, through the integration with SharePoint and Teams. Okay? So to better understand your needs and how Microsoft could be the right solution, we propose that we follow up with a discovery session in which we can talk one-on-one with you in your particular need. And with that, we're going to provide an analysis of what we understood, and then we're going to demo the solution that we think is the better fit for you to start growing together with the Microsoft platform. And again, the whole idea is to then have a proof of concept that you can utilize if you decide to start using the solution yourself. With that, I would like to move on to our Q&A session, just to make sure that we keep it interactive. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask and we can answer at this time. Do we have anything on the chat?
Nothing by chat.
Nothing by chat. If anybody has a question, you can raise your hand and we will unmute you, as I just realized that you guys are all muted.
While they're coming off of mute, why don't we talk about time entry? So time entry, I don't think is available for the lesser, the more entry-level solutions. But how do we take care of that as we progress up and become more sophisticated with our project management applications?
That's a very good question. Vince, time entry is not available in all of the different solutions that Microsoft provides. It is available with project operations. Okay, and if you are in the need of tracking times, whether it's because you want to really evaluate the return on investment, whether it's a project that you are billing out to a customer or internally you need to report on it, the best solution will be project operations. Project operations allows you to register time entries for each one of the projects that you're working on and down to the level of details of the project tasks themselves. It also has an automation in which if you are completing your time entries, you can start flagging whether the task has been completed in its totality or not. And you can start comparing the financials. So what was the projected time versus the actual time spent on each one of those tasks. It is a very important functionality that is provided with project operations and is considered part of the project financial.
Wonderful. So
We
that's
do have the
real-time, live time entry then.
It is. And it also comes with all the approval processes and needs. So time entries are created on draft status, and then as they are submitted, they are checked if they need to be approved by the manager, and as the manager approves the time entries, they follow through the process of the billing, and then finally the account receivables on the ERP system as well.
Wonderful. And they can do this via mobile as well, mobile device versus a computer?
That is correct. You can use also your mobile device. Okay, and in fact, you can access all the data through mobile devices as Microsoft provides that interface as well. Any other questions? I don't know if anybody has a hand up or...
There is someone is typing right now. Give us just a moment.
Well, let's see if we can get you off mute.
There you go. This is from Antonio. When you mention project operations Dynamics 365, to which deployment type are you referring to?
Very good question. I didn't think that we were going to get into that level of detail, but it's a very good question, Antonio. I am referring to the full functionality on both deployments, the light deployment as well as the integrated deployment. Okay, the integrated deployment, since you mentioned, is when we are using project operations together with F&O, finance and operations. It is the same functionality. How we define the integration with your ERP system can be using Microsoft F&O or another third-party system such as SAP or another ERP that you are currently using. We can still integrate with your backend ERP system through the Power Platform. I hope that answered your question, Antonio.
It looks like it, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I see nothing else in the text. Well, there's Antonio said, yes, you did. Thank you. There you go.
Harshita, anything that I forgot that you might want to add as far as the value, especially on project operations, since it is your specialty?
Nothing as of now, but yeah, I think you covered exactly how project operations stands out as a solution and how comprehensive and end-to-end it is, right from project sales to project planning, resource management to the financials. It covers the whole spectrum. So that's the main differentiating factor of it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Well said. All right. Looks like that's it, sir.
Well, looks like that's it. And again, we invite you to sign up for the discovery sessions, okay, or contact us directly if you have any other questions or clarifications, or if you want us to expand in the functionalities. Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation today. I hope it was contributing to clarifying the different offerings from Microsoft, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.